This is Mr. Airhose sending out a transmission from the SWOT Enterprise with a code 1414, reliable as ever. Sailing through the cosmos with breathtaking clarity and ease of mind, I'm pleased to say that my travels have provided for me more than distance from a place I was so tragically rejected by, but also insight beyond all that I could have anticipated. Not only that, but I've gained a friend. A small, marshmallowy, quasi-dimensional fellow known as a wisher by race, and while he cannot speak, it is known that his affection for me grows by the cosmic day, as mine does as well for him. I find myself here in quadrant 10-Q Gamma Trace, the exact coordinates of a brief misunderstanding between two very different galaxies. It's not that either of them are wrong or right, it's just that they are almost entirely unalike, providing for what some may call irrational and confusing conflict. The amount of gas poured on the flame doesn't match the intensity of the explosion, so to speak. Nonetheless, here I am drifting peacefully between the coral, simply thankful for the opportunity to say, receiving transmission. Sometimes our own thoughts entrap us in anxiety that won't allow for expression, We become so convinced by our own internal explanations that to speak would be a crime according to our own doctrine. We might even lose ourselves contained within our own self-constructed prisons, but the cosmos needs us. The cosmos needs us to be us for the sake of its function. Besides, not every thought is true, believe it or not. No matter how convincing we can be in our heads, reality continues to be what it is regardless of what we think of it. This is both liberating and haunting at the same time. Take every thought lightly as we continue our journey. Receiving transmission.
One, two, three, four.
Tied up back to mother when is real. You start to give it away, but I'm leaving you all tied up back to mother when is real. Sick.
Hard to let go. Everything is so comforting when it's familiar, especially when it's all we've ever known. We rightfully cling to that which sets our minds at ease when the places we dwell start to become foreign. We may be in the same situations we've always found ourselves in, and yet feel a sense of homesickness overtaking our perception. Strange. What is normality? What is home? We learn to carry the place of peace with us wherever we go, or else we become susceptible to restlessness without end. We receive what we can, but stability must not depend on circumstances, and circumstantially, we must always return to the place of reception, receiving transmission. A low-priority cosmic anomaly was just picked up by my sensors. Apparently, a local moon in the Narlon system had just evaporated. Not exploded or drifted away, but evaporated. Usually this sort of reading indicates a galactic sneeze or the laws of physics apologizing for temporarily forgetting themselves, but this is something worth checking out, I'd say. The moon, or where it should be, is apparently located in expected orbit around the second planet in the system called Selah Minor 4-b. The Narlon system is on the edge of this galaxy, so it'll take a moment to get there, but I'm setting the coordinates now. This should be interesting. In the meantime, receiving transmission.
The little man upstairs, he's pulling out my hair. I'm pulling on all the strings, but he ruins everything that I care about. I'm watching through his eyes, I thought I was alive. Turns out I'm not real, and everything I feel is what he dreams and lies about. He moves me like a doll, I stumble and I fall, I cry out in the night, but he just dims the light and turns away. My tears, they hit the floor, but he won't answer for the pain he writes in me, a character in scenes I didn't choose to play. He pins another line and robs me of my time. I reach for something true, but truth is just a cue in his parade. The mirror shows my face, but I can't find a place where I belong for you. Each moment that I steal, it takes away. I whisper through the page, a voice inside a cage. If I could write him too, I'd ask him, who are you to paint my pain? But silence fills the air like he was never there. Still I perform each day while he rewrites the play. I can't escape.
Existence is a strange thing if you think about it. I suppose consideration of being is what we call consciousness. It's almost like we're a thing, not so much a body, but something looking out of these eyes we have. We feel our bodies, but our bodies aren't really who we are. We are whatever is controlling our bodies. The body is just a vessel we possess, and it doesn't always play along. Stranger than that, there also perceives to be what we refer to as internal conflict, as if there are multiple personalities fighting over the controls. The phrase, "I can't live with myself," is a complicated one. Are we the I who cannot live with ourselves, or the ourselves with whom we cannot live with? The one who knows what ought to be, or the one that is? Strange ponderings. Don't let them trip you up. Receiving transmission.
Afraid of the dark, and those ghosts in my chest. When I get to bed at night, I can't get no rest. But you make me something outside myself, like a match in a cold dark room. You're my only chance. She said, just leave a light on, and I'll do my share.
inactivity. Anything worth doing is worth doing regardless of the circumstances or the results. The necessary effect of cause is realized in eternity. Clouds full of rain should pour out rain. Are we full of mercy? Then we should be merciful. Full of sympathy? Then we should be sympathetic. Are we filled with life? Pour it out. Let all that is light be poured out into the darkness. And if we have nothing left to give, we should take the time to collect what would be beneficial to this dry and weary land. If we wait for the right moment, it won't come. All of life spent saving and never spending is a waste. We should establish perpetual accumulation and release, both sending and receiving transmission. Some news comes my way. The Galactic Broadcast Network writes, history was made this week in the Kitter Expanse as asteroid 88B became the first non-planetary, non-gaseous, non-sentient until last month being to win an election. Observers described the event as, quote, a seismic victory, end quote, though the term was quickly deemed insensitive after a minor tectonic collapse during celebrations. Asteroid 88B, known to its supporters simply as Rocky, entered the race as a protest candidate after repeatedly being excluded from regional orbit negotiations. Its campaign slogan, "We all revolve around something," struck a chord with small moons, planetoids, and other underrepresented gravitational entities. Critics initially dismissed 88B as a floating boulder with no clear direction, but the asteroid's slow, deliberate public appearances impressed many voters. One supporter commented, "You couldn't ignore its presence," mostly because it blocked out the sun for several minutes. The newly elected asteroid will take its seat on the Council of Orbital Affairs, a governing body known for heated debates and dangerously close flybys. Its first motion on the docket, a proposal to standardize personal orbital boundaries citing centuries of collisions, near misses, and awkward gravitational entanglements. Meanwhile, a group of traditionalists calling themselves Solid Planetary Front has announced plans to appeal the result, arguing that 88B's election sets a dangerous precedent for uninhabited rocks everywhere. In a final poetic twist, 88B was unavailable for comment following its win, currently halfway through an elliptical orbit set out to return to signal range in about 84 years. Nevertheless, analysis expect its approval rating to remain high, primarily because no one can reach it to disagree. It just goes to show, a sentient being is a sentient being, no matter how small. Receiving transmission.
On our first day, you said my car was ready. I vacuumed down and scrubbed it out. My hair smelled like shampoo. The second date, it looked like a Bugatti. But by day 9, it looked more like I parked it at the zoo, windows down. I watched your smile turn to a frown. My hopes to die. We found a way, we worked this out. We're not too sad about it. I was planning. I know you noticed too. It's so relaxed without it. Just in scratches, standing. I know you found someone to walk in. I know you found it. I know you found it. I know you found it. I just might find it. My friend's girlfriend thinks so much of me, man. I hate to let her down. I start so good, but I'm not a closer. Send another text for the screenshot folder. Always kinda guess by the time I'm older. I would take the slut thing and figure it out. I was young and drunk, now I'm fumbling sober. Damage controller, holding these flowers outside your window now. I watch your smile turn to a frown. My hopes to die. We find a way, we work this out. I'm not too sad about it. I was planning. I know you noticed too. It's so relaxed without it. Just in scratches, standing. I know you found someone to walk in. I know you found it. I know you found it. I know you found it. I just might find it too. I know you found it. I know you found it. I know you found it. I just might find it too.
First impressions are met with realizations for better or for worse. It's funny how we expect others to be as perfect as they present, or on the other hand, fatally flawed. In my experience, people are always more interesting than they first appear. Time spent reveals why they are the way they are, and then we can have the opportunity to help them become more of who they are and less of who they are not. At the same time, we have much to learn from external reports. Reality is objective, and we all have a lot to learn. Let's add another perspective to the mix. Receiving transmission.
Even though it's so warm here, I only feel the cold inside, almost like we're gonna die. Even though you're my moon, my dear, I have to turn my back to your light. Hope this won't be a goodbye. The hole in my chest is unfeelable, try my best. Maybe you will be the next. I wanna sing your silence. I wanna sing your silence. I wanna sing your silence.
It's sometimes a good idea to take a step back, to take the stance of an observer to properly assess situations. We can take note unemotionally of qualities present and lacking and make a game plan to contribute beneficially. We do whatever we can to help, or we see that the best stance we can take is to remain at a distance. Maybe the decision comes from a recognition that something is slightly off. We don't know the full range of nuance initially, and we do well to take the time to evaluate our position on the board. We find the flame that can warm the cold situation, or we consider that it would only cause an explosion. Decisions, receiving transmission. Just arrived at Sela Minor 4-B, and yes, I can report where one of its moons should be only houses a faint silver mist that glows with the recent memory of moonlight. From what I can gather, it would seem that the case is... oh no. Not another blob. I've seen this before. 11 times as a matter of fact. Quasi-dimensional beings are one thing, but sentient blobs, well... let's just say their ambition lacks experience. Okay, translating the symbols: name, lunan, occupation, formerly a moon, reason for evaporation, boredom, seeking more personal growth and less gravity. Well, the best thing to do here is to report this to the Galactic Council. This is clearly not piracy, weaponry, or cosmic negligence, simply a case of celestial self-discovery. Not looking forward to the paperwork, but I am looking forward to this incoming transmission. Receiving transmission. flame, taking hold of love, well, there's a gentleness to it that resists a tightening grip. Sometimes the harder we try to take hold of a thing such as love, the more it slips right through our fingers. What we swear is for the best and is in fact proof of our love turns out to be a form of control, unwilling to yield to an individual's autonomy. Either that or we become too yielding, and in doing so, we give off the impression that everything is permissible and our own autonomy isn't something worth consideration. Our feelings and personal boundaries are often either over or undervalued in our own assessment. The way we see things is important, yes, but the way we see things is not the most important. Giving way and making room for individual exploration while at the same time reporting how it affects us, I think, is the middle ground that allows for freedom without compromise. I am free out here in the cosmos. There is peace in my heart. Every situation leads me farther along on my journey. This is Mr. Airhose, signing off. Until next time, Godspeed. Sending transmission.
Space rock, flowing, chilling in the cosmic ocean. I'm mixing like I'm spitting potions. I listen like it's in slow motion. Never asking, where's the paycheck? I'm not stressing, I'm gonna make it. Keep it real though, don't have to fake it. Where I'm going, I can't say yet. Space rock. He don't ask a lot, breathing even when his mask is shot, blasting off, receiving transmissions as his last stop, losing the distance of the past. Stay up and don't panic, pop goes the planet shock, seeking meaning in the class of thought and battles fought, sticking to the missions in the task log, tune in, blast off, it's Mazzaroth.